8/20, 2012, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, dog days of August. However, we have always been a bull at times on HES because it was a leader in its sector before the economy got bad, before the earnings had to contract, and a lot of things were going on in this whole sector. But when the valuations got down to $40, it was time to buy. Why do I say that again? Because you got to see, back in the days over here, when we were back over here in 2006, we were trading HES all the way up throughout all these calendar years right here. And I'm giving my other MMTs a little bit of things that happen in this particular sector that HES is in. HES trades in the DXE called Deutsche Bank Energy. What we would like to highlight is that this bull rally in the S&P is going to continue to go higher. It will do like we said several weeks ago, a couple of months ago, that these things were on sale in here. And, you know, there were some pickings in here that could be taken based on the fact that the earnings estimates and the revisions have come into play. They've dropped them all the way down to fit its current business model in the global economy in 2012. The global economy, things were getting weaker, and a lot of these bulls fell out of place, and they all went into miserable bears. But let me tell you something, when things turn around in here, it's the place to be. HES is one that we like. Another one that we like is this Noble Energy. I mean, all of these, OXY, all of these stocks in here, SLB, you got ExxonMobil. Well, there's a different story behind that one. I'm just letting my MMTs know that this Apache will come back to life at some point. Baker Hughes, as things improve, as things improve, they come back into favor. Devon Energy, DVN all the way down here, EOG, you know, that's one of our leaders. And so is HES at the bottoms. So there are good places in here that we want you to stay focused on, MMTs. And when the bull run, this bull run that we've had during the summer calendar 2012, this bull run is going to need those names to perform. Once those names have dropped estimates in this particular sector, the DXE, I can guarantee you that there will be some more buying opportunities and how they can set up their long-term bases for a turnaround. So you put in the calendar year lows, like here on HES on the daily chart, we rally on up here, and this was a great move. It was a $10 move off of the bottoms. Here's the 2012 long-term contraction. It broke the downtrend right on the other side of this diagonal trend line, right in here, right here. So now that we've gone back up, we'll be looking at where HES would pull back and where that growth story one day would return, and why these names could have potential upside in the future based on very many things, such as politics, such as worldwide growth, such as to where their sector and where their trough earnings are, where their estimates are, where they've been marked down. Everything that would have the right mixture, the right ingredient for great moves. And, you know, you buy them on sale because they were on sale. HES was on sale. And we'll be covering other names in the sector as well. So, once again, I will be doing a chart. One of the things that we will do is let people understand that the DXE, that's all these stocks that HES is here in, and some of the other leaders. Now, one thing you're going to notice about HES and some of the other ones that we cover and buy is that the time that we were putting the bottom here in, the DXE, that's the overall energy patch, we were putting the bottoms in right here. We broke this downtrend of the DXE. And that means that a lot of the individual names that have been marked down in their earnings, this is where the next bull run will be. Because these are the most out-of-favored stocks, number one. Number two, they're very good old-line companies. When the economy improves, there's great returns to be made here. And the reason why I'm reiterating it again is because this is the longer daily chart where we broke that significant downtrend in the Deutsche Bank Energy Index. At the same time that we put the bottoms in here and started going up, HES went right along with it. So it's a benchmark to it. It's still a leader. What we would say, it would take time, but you want to pick up, not just be a one person, you want to be diversified a little bit in here. You want the best of the breed. And we'll be covering stuff like NBL again. We'll be covering stuff once again like SLB. We'll be covering DVN again. We'll be covering Bellwether APA up here. Apache. I mean, we'll be covering the ones that do well. Diamond Offshore. They all have something in common. Do not take your eye off of this, because in order to keep this bull rally going in the S&P and the Dow, to keep this, it's going to take those names. It's going to take those beaten down names that nobody wants to buy, that they had the doom and gloom story. Yes, they weren't making as much money, and yes, they had a soft period of time. However, it's the perfect place to be looking, because we've already got this nice $10 move. These aren't intraday, high beta, internet stocks and things like that. They're a different breed of stocks, companies. You know, they're publicly traded, but they trade different, is what I'm trying to say, because we're always excited. You can probably hear in my voice why we're excited. Because when you're buying and using the call options for longer term out in these beaten down areas, and we've done this throughout the many, many years, they got on sale. And the thing about it is, it was time to buy. So here is the index again. And that's going to be the wall of resistance for right now. And it's a look at, once these indexes, it's going to take the leadership stocks to break these tops right here. This is where the big downtrend started, right here. In this sector, this is where it started, so I want you to see that, MMT. But I also want you to understand that we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5-day period here. Then there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and another 5 days. That's 10 trading days up here, right here. So let's be coherent with that small gap. I'll just draw that little trend line right there. So basically, when we break through here, that's why HES is having a problem breaking higher right now, because it too will follow that index. And you can see right here, when I blow this up, you can see the same pattern here as you do in the energy sector. Now, we will go into much more depth later on about the individual stocks that I mentioned herein. And at times they're going to pull back and they're going to buy, but at times when their business models turn around here and they start to get better earnings and the estimates are in line with forward-looking growth, you'll find that these one time when they were the greatest bulls, as they were, they went into the greatest bears. But you know what? When we were down here in the bear, let this be an example in this energy, bam! 2 years we went straight up to the highs. And then we came back and we made a high in 2011. We shorted all of it over here. We have all the live videos and the coverage on DXE. It's on the website. However, once again, it's about looking where that next bull rally is going to be. And when we break through these resistance levels, like HES is trying to do here, not to mention there are many others, like EOG. We'll cover some of these charts the same way. When we put the bottom in here in EOG and we featured it then, this was the time to be the buyer. This was the great bull top at 120, right down here, right above about $82. And you can see that they all have something in common. Let this be a lesson to you. They've made great rallies, this one has. And it was on sale. And we're right there. But we're at that wall of resistance, just like with HES and just like with the overall index, the DXE here. You can see the patterns here in this sector. We'll be going through individual ones. I just want to use this as the reference of when this bottoms were in, the leaders moved higher. And this is how we do business. Let's take a look at this beaten down Devon Energy, DVN in here. Okay, now it too is starting a turnaround and has been since we've been covering it. But it's just the beginning on this one. This was a great bull rally stock. And it had good fundamentals. It had everything you wanted. It was the bull run area at the time. But they got into their bears. And they're coming out of them now. And we can see, yes, everything has pullbacks as they should. But we made these rallies. and it's a place to be looking to buy dips on pullbacks. It's another leader, DVN. It's following the broader one there. Another one that we like is this one here. Look at the Diamond Offshore. Once was the great bull rally. Remember, they were great bulls. We traded these great bulls going back to these years. And then you see in 2011, they had big problems up here at $80. But listen, MMTs and broader people, once they put these bottoms in, you can see that the index put the bottoms in, and you got to pick the leaders. You got to pick the ones where the turnaround stories are and where the bull would come back into play. And this has been a great bull right up here. This has been a great run. And it's always been one of our leaderships that we make markets with. Sometimes they're intraday, but then sometimes they're for the longer haul, only when they're on sale. Here's the 2012 highs. These are great ranges. When we couldn't break it, we had to own it. Now, once again, DXE, Deutsche Bank Energy. I will be going through these again and doing the individual ones because the bull rally goes higher. It's going to take these names to participate in AR. And we broke these downtrends in this particular field. They went from bull to extreme bear, and from bear, and they're getting back to the neutral area between the two. And once again, we're just going to highlight the DXE and the leadership stock. Stay tuned.